Hello to the good people and to the bad. Bad people need love too.
When it comes to positivity, we all need it.
Write about people whose names are familiar to us now, like Isaiah Thomas.
Those things always work when it comes to putting out your best self.
God has blessed you with a beautiful voice, Chris. Thank you very much for doing this.
Good afternoon to the good people, and good afternoon to the bad people. You know, we try to bring everybody in, friends and enemies. And good afternoon, boom, shakalaka, to you all. Chris Bates back with you as I return to bring you back CBI-Chris Bates interviews. It's as the rap song says, it's been a long time. I should have left you. So we are back. You have no idea how much I love this particular program to do one-on-one interviews or more than one person. I've always been, as a broadcaster, gravitate towards people over the years, radio, TV, and the like, who just do it flawlessly. And I always wanted to kind of like be in that realm. People I studied, people I admired, and one day you keep paying attention, you actually do it yourself, which is more than an honor. When I launched this program 2 years ago, I needed a guest who can mix it up, personality, experience, and just overall great person. And that was easy. 2 years ago, I asked the great Lee Michaels to come on with me 2 years ago to help anchor the program. Now that I returned to CBI to reboot, to relaunch, it was no-brainer to ask the same person to come back and bless the show. It's more than my honor. He is my guru. He is my liege. Never say never. I never thought I'd work with this man in this industry. And that's what I told my students while I was teaching broadcasting and radio. You never say never. Welcome back to CBI, to come back again to give the show what it needs, a square kick in the ass. Please welcome back the one, the only Lee Michaels. Put him up here, and here he is. How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing okay. A good swift kick in the butt, huh?
That's right. That's right.
I'm the butt kicker. That would be me.
That's right.
And I think I'm your only friend. That's why you called me back and having me back again.
Well, since you want to tell everybody, yeah, you are my only friend.
Well, thank you, Chris, for inviting me back on the show and making history with you again. So, I mean, it's an honor. It really is.
I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. And I told the audience before, but people don't know, by the time I got into radio here in Chicago, you'd already left the market, of course, doing big things in other markets. And, of course, your DNA and stamp has already been here. And I've always heard the great things about you and your programming style. And as you know, before WGCI, I was WBMX all the way. And that's all I listened to when I was a teenager. I even parked in my grandparents' area when I heard BMX sign off for the very last time, I should say, and I was heartbroken in my car. I damn near cried. And so just the fact that to see the evolution of Lee Michaels and to hear all these legendary things, I said, I'll never work with this man because, you know, he's gone on and he don't know me from a can of paint. And as we get into the comment section, Barbara Jean was the one that connected me to you. And you were
What's up? Cheese biscuit.
Oh, yeah. In fact, here she is up here. She was talking about Wednesday greetings. So she's the first one out the gate. Barbara Jean, Wednesday afternoon greetings from the Cheese Biscuit right there, which is fantastic. And I remember you were living in Florida at the time. And she was saying that Uncle Lee living in Florida and he's fat and he's happy.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
fat and happy.
Fat and happy, yeah. So let's go to the comments. People already in the peanut gallery already. Let me acknowledge them. What's up, Sick Diggy? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Say that 3 times fast.
I shan't. Sick, I thank Sick for coming to the Chris Base channel on YouTube. The Chris Base channel, all one word with a period and then a channel. He's out of Norway coming in.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good
Yeah,
weather,
it's a
too.
long ride.
I know, right? What's up, Omar? So good afternoon, Chris. Happy Wednesday. Your shirt looks great on you. Yeah, I try to collect these shirts, man. This is from, if you're a fan of Speed Racer back in the day, his nemesis and older brother Rex was a guy named Racer X. So that's what I have on my shirt here. So thank you for the acknowledgement. Just a throwback to a misspent youth watching television. Up, Katrina Sanders. How you doing? What's up, Chris? Baseline to the key. Baseline to the note and key. She give me little acknowledgments of notation and keys. So thank you, Katrina, as always, for your support, being here. I can't wait to see Lee Michaels. Well, he's right over there, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He is awake. Let's see what else we got here in the comments.
Yeah, I just woke up. While waiting to come on the show, I was sitting here and fell asleep because I had an all-night experience. I had a ride. I had to pick up a passenger at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I dropped them off, I went out to get some breakfast. And then I never went to sleep. I had another ride at 9:30 this morning. So, yeah,
that's kind of
rough.
rough.
I fell asleep here in the car, waiting to come on the show with you. So,
well, at least nobody tried to harass you, while you were sleeping. Do you snore? Do you call hogs when you sleep?
I don't know and don't give a damn.
Of course not. Of course you don't.
I think when I get really exhausted, I can probably call a few hogs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let's see. Omar says, "Welcome back, Mr. Michaels."
Thank you. Good to be back. I mean, this is always fun hanging out with the base.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Sick Diggy says, "Hello, Mr. Michaels," and he asks, "How are you, sir?"
I'm fine. I'm great. I'm alive and kicking and feeling all right. I had a doctor's appointment on the 29th of May. It was the first time I had an appointment with this particular doctor. And before we got started, I said, "Look, Doc, I need you to make a commitment." He says, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I need another 25. Can you make that happen?" He goes, "Well, I need another 24." So I said, "Well, okay, let's go for 24." He's a year older than me, so I'm trying to make it to 100.
That's a good round number.
Yeah,
that's all
right.
right.
I never thought I'd make it this far. So
you're 75 really now, good. Right?
Yes, sir.
75. Congratulations on the 75, sir.
Yep, been around the sun 75 times.
Yeah, that's a blessing right there. That's all right.
That's why I'm a sunburn on one side.
That driving you're doing, right? As well. Let's see. Katrina says, "Hi, Lee," as well.
Hello.
Let's see. What's up, Jed? Said Lee is on. Has to be a great show. And Jed is out in the Bay Area out there in California.
Oh, okay. Up north. I'm south of you.
Let's see. What do you say, sick? Racer X was dope. Yeah, I used to watch again when I used to come home from school real quick. I would watch Speed Racer.
Yeah.
And Speed Racer was a Japanese cartoon way before anime came out. This is like in the 70s. And I would check it out. And I remember one episode, it was, it was for kids, but it had that like slightly adult drama to it. So every time Racer X would be driving next to him when they would be racing, Racer X is really Speed's brother Rex. Ran away from home years ago. And that's when the announcement was, tip in with little stuff like that, little tidbits. So one time, Rex saves his life, and he always races to make sure his brother Speed is doing okay. And they get out the car, and they're on the sideline of this racing area. And he says, "Rex," he said, Speed. He said, Speed says to Racer X, "Are you my older brother Rex who ran away from home?" And Rex clocks the shit out of him.
Wow.
Bam! Just beats him out and just, look, I'm sorry to do that, Ray. I'm sorry to do that, Speed. Well, the hell, you knocked the shit out of your own younger brother. So
violence and cartoons.
Hey, man, I was with it. I had no problem with it. Let's see. Katrina, I need Lee Michaels to go in on some topics, please. He always targets the truth. Oh, we'll get into it. No, we're simmering the pot because I know Lee is hot about a lot of things. So if we have like a
She
little,
want to hear me rant, huh?
Yeah, she goes back to when we started the Six Guys and You program.
Right.
She was a part of that. So yes, because she knows how you operate. So just let everybody know, for those people who may not be familiar with your background, give us a quick overview about who you are and how you get on the radio and things of that nature.
I can't remember.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's how you do it.
I'm too old to go. I don't know. You have to tell me. Well,
Okay.
I've been around the business for a long, long time. I'm allegedly retired from it, but I keep getting sucked back in. It's like I'm in the Hoover world. It just keeps pulling me back in.
Right.
So, yeah, I had a great career in radio. I was on the air for about 30 years and 20 years in management and programming all over the country. Worked in markets like New York, Philly, Baltimore, Washington, Norfolk, Charlotte, Atlanta, Miami, Houston, St. Louis, Chicago, San Francisco, and LA. And some of those markets 2 or 3 times. And then I consulted stations in another 16 markets or so. And had a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Started out really young, 15 years old, and inspired by a lot of great radio personalities in my hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. And it was a great ride, man. It's looking back, I smack myself sometimes and say, dude, you worked in all these markets and, you know, I had a great run of success and you met a lot of great people, worked with a lot of fantastic talent, and I feel blessed. And because of that, of those experiences, I try to give back because that's how you keep it going. And unfortunately, the business is not the way it was when I started out.
Right.
But there's still opportunities, but not the same type of opportunities that I once had, and many others that were in the business early on. And I look at the pioneers that preceded me, what the doors that they opened up, and if it wasn't for what they did, I wouldn't have had an opportunity. So I like to think of it this way. Life is like a relay race. And if you're the first leg and you take off running, you've got to hand that baton to the person in front of you. And it's got to be a nice, smooth transition. You can't drop the baton, because if you do, the race is basically over for you and your team.
Right.
So a smooth handoff to the next person who wants to grab that and run like hell. And eventually, at the end of that race, we all are winners. So I use that as a way of explaining it to other people and say, look, when you get a chance to grab that baton, pass it on. Don't hold on to it and take it home. Don't walk off the racetrack and say, this is my baton and it's over. And it would be over. So pass the knowledge and experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to the next person that you run into. And you always know that it's the right person to pass it on to, or people, by how they display the passion that they have for whatever the business is, whether it's radio, television, being an auto mechanic, it doesn't matter. The same principle and concept applies to any industry. So when you run across that, typically a younger person, sit down with them, listen to them, find out where the hot buttons are, and then dive in and help them. So even though I'm not actively involved in radio on a day-to-day basis, I still run into people, even passengers in my limo business. And when they find out I was in the radio business, they have 1,000 questions of, who did you meet? What was your favorite market? What radio station did? Oh yeah, I used to listen to that station. So you just never know who you're going to run into. And again, you share those stories. Today, this morning at 3:30 in the morning, I'm standing in the parking lot waiting for my client to come out.
Mhm.
And this production group had been there for like 18 hours. And Nicki Minaj, they were doing a video with her. I didn't see her. She wasn't my client.
Mhm.
But they were sharing the experience of working with her. So you just never know. You never know who you're going to run into. I mean, I've had a lot of famous people, and I, through my experience in being in the radio business, I learned how to interface with personalities and celebrities. And I don't act like a groupie. I treat them like they want to be treated. Sometimes they are very talkative, sometimes they're not, and I give them that space. I don't try to make them fit into my world, and so it's been a fun ride.
Well, Denzel Washington said in a viral video about knowledge, you don't see your hearse with a U-Haul truck behind it.
I like
and like you said, not everybody's going to receive the message, but I think that when you're able to connect, like you said, sit down with somebody younger or anybody that wants to listen and then obtain said knowledge, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Out of all the mediums, why radio for you, Lee?
The mystique, the unknown. You hear this voice. My mom had a RCA radio on the counter in her kitchen, and it had a dial on it. It was only AM, and I used to play with the radio. Boy, don't turn my channel. It's my favorite station. Okay, Mom. But then when she would leave, I would explore, and tune around and listen to different stations.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fascinating to me. The idea that you could go from one station to another and get different programming, different voices, and that piqued my curiosity. Well, how's that voice come out of the radio? So I tore the radio apart, and the rest is history. So it's curiosity, first of all. It was for me, and I was just amazed about the fact that these voices were coming out of this little box sitting on the counter or the desk. And then I got a chance to meet one of the radio personalities in my hometown. And at that, I was done. Shit, this is what I want to do.
I
This
know,
is
right?
cool. And then, they had a studio it was called the Downtown Plaza, and it had a big window as you walk by. And there was this studio. And when I saw that, man, I was, oh, this is so much fun. Look at this guy. Now, this guy had been on the radio there forever. And his name was Jack Holmes. Jack dressed up. He had his Sunday hat on. And he did not wear headphones.
Okay.
No headphones.
Right.
And he had a cigar in his mouth most of the time.
Yeah.
So he would open the mic, turn the music down. This is back in the days when the jocks used to call hot potting, turning the music up and down, you're talking over it.
Right, right.
So he had no reference in terms of the volume of the music and his voice. That's the way he worked. And I went, wow, why does he do that? That's weird. And then I saw another jock go on the air, and he talked over the songs, and he didn't do as much hot potting. So I saw a different technique between two different personalities.
Yeah.
And then he invited me into the studio one day. And I sat behind him and I watched him doing his thing. And I was like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, yeah.
And then I met a bunch of other guys and ladies in the business. A guy by the name of Calvin Shakespeare Perkins. he was a rapper before we knew what rap was.
There you go,
He
pioneer. Didn't
rhymed
even know it.
everything. Yeah.
Right.
And there was King Hot Dog the Great. He was another rapper,
I
kind
love
of,
those names, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Hollison, King Hot Dog the Great. He had several different names. He called himself the Black Alarm Clock, and so did Calvin. And you had Soul Ranger. There was just a bunch of, and everybody was different. They had a little different style.
Yeah.
So I was raised and influenced by the early 60s, mid 60s, late 60s, and then into the 70s. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
And that's what drew me into it. I didn't know whether I could do it or not, but I was excited about it. It was fun. And my curiosity is what drove me into it. And I got into it and I learned that, well, this is a business. It's not just fun and games and playing songs on the air and talking crap. It's a business. And so then I started learning the business aspect of it.
Yes.
So when I left my hometown, I went to St. Louis to KATZ, which was a popular Black-oriented radio station in St. Louis. And I went there on April Fool's Day, 1973.
Nice.
And man, let me tell you something. That was another experience. This was a union station. So you had an engineer on the other side of this glass window. They were the only ones that could touch the console and the music and the carts and for commercials and all that. Right. You sat in another room. You had a big table in front of you. You had two turntables over on the right. You had a switch to turn your mic on and off or mute it if you wanted to cough. And that was it. And the headphones and the headphone bottle. And you talked to the engineer through an intercom.
Right.
So when I got there, man, I thought this is like being in a spaceship. This is like,
I know,
wow,
right?
This is the big time.
That's
this
right.
is how the big boys do it. So that was another experience. And I was still pretty young at that point. I was 23, 1973.
Okay.
And everybody on the station was older than me. And that's where the name Lee Baby Michaels came from. So I was the baby on the station.
Right.
And I took the advantage of that youngness. And within a week of being there, they had a career day at the Kiel Auditorium, which was a big auditorium there. They had concerts and stuff. But they had a career day. And all the high school students were there to interview with jobs and other colleges and stuff like that. So I went there and I made it my business to meet every high school student that was at this event. I shook their hands. I told them who I was and, check me out tomorrow on the radio at KATZ, 1600 on the dial and blah, 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 blah. So almost overnight, I became the biggest teen jock in town.
Nice. That's nice.
And I had, good ratings and everything on that station. So you just you gotta work it. You gotta learn, how to get out in the streets. And back in those days, it was no damn internet. Nobody.
Oh no.
1973 it was none of that.
None
so it was,
whatsoever.
it was guerrilla warfare in the streets, handshaking, kissing babies, and the closest thing to technology that you had was a request line.
Yes.
So you answer the phone, you chat it with people, and then you go out and do a live broadcast or remote, and that was a lot of fun. And one of the memorable moments in doing a remote for me was in St. Louis. I did something in Norfolk, but when I got to St. Louis, they had a Pontiac dealer, and they asked me to come and do a broadcast from there. So I did. I think it was on a Saturday. They sold 35 cars in that one day.
Ooh.
And the owner of the dealership came to me after the show was over. He goes, "This has never happened before. This is like unbelievable. You have a certain magic with people, and you drew people in." They gave away, sodas, popcorn, and hot dogs and stuff like that. But I mean, the parking lot was packed. It was like a concert. He sold 35 cars on that first
Yeah.
broadcast. And at the end of the show, he came to me and said, "Look, I want to, give you something to show my thanks and gratitude." He gave me a brand new Pontiac Grand Prix.
Ooh,
He said,
man,
"Go pick out whichever one you want."
that's
So
nice.
they
That's
had a
beautiful.
black on black in black. I
Oh,
said, "I
stop.
want that one." He said, "Go sign the paperwork. It's yours." So
That's great.
that was exciting,
Of course.
And from that I learned the power of that microphone,
Yes.
the magic that's in that microphone and that
Mhm.
transmitter. And I learned that you got to respect it. You can't pimp it. You can use it to your advantage, but you don't want to take the advantage of it, misuse it, like so many people do today, like your president. The
It ain't
power
mine.
that you possess when you're in front of that camera or that microphone, and then you use it to your advantage and screw everybody else in the process. That's not
Well,
good.
see, no, it's not. See, something like that, that you just mentioned, Lee, it reminds me of what Jerry the Iceman Butler, God rest his soul, once said. The ability to walk with kings and queens and still have the common touch.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're able to connect with your audience, more so then than
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
because there, of course, social media they talked about, but just the fact that you physically go out and meet them and you shake their hand,
Yeah.
like you kiss the babies and stuff like that, and let them
Sure.
know that we're connected, that I appreciate you listening to me. And like you and others, like my connection to radio started at 6 years old. So
Mm.
I remember the time I spent the night over at my grandparents' house. Now, my grandfather, he had to save money. So lights out at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. All lights were out. The only thing that was on was a TV set in his room with my grandmother, and they used to watch The Night Show with Johnny Carson.
My
And
man.
that's when Johnny was on from 90 minutes before he did the hour show. This was
Yeah.
on from
Yeah.
locally 10:30 to midnight during this time. So if I spend
Yep.
the night, I'm in between, my grandparents watching TV, cut the TV off, and would keep the radio on sometimes. And this is when I think they still do WBBM News Radio. This on the AM
Mm-hmm.
would air old time radio programs at midnight.
Yep.
So as a kid, just having an active imagination, it's literally you cannot see your hand in front of your face. It's like blue black. It's like you can't see nothing in front of your face. It's pitch black. All of a sudden, they talk about this old time radio program. Lights out, everybody. I couldn't have fainted. I could have fainted at 5 years old. Really, I was like, I just could not take it. Just the fact that all this imagination was exciting, but at the same time, it was thrilling, and I liked it.
Yeah. Well, they captured it was called theater of the mind.
Correct. Yes.
They painted a picture with words and the inflection in their voices and how they told the story and the different characters that were involved. You could see it,
Yes.
and turning the light out in the room helped you create that vision because you had no uh, obstructions to get in the
Mm-hmm.
way.
That's
So
right.
it's pitch black dark, and you paint your own vision of what they're saying. It was
Absolutely.
magic. It was magic.
It was.
And WBBM, I used to listen to when I lived in Virginia because at
See?
night it was a 50,000 watt station. WLS, WCFL, BBM, WGN.
Yep.
All of those stations came into Virginia after sundown.
50,000-watt clear channel.
That's it. So
Yep.
I grew up on those stations, WABC in New York, WKBW in Buffalo, LAC out of Nashville. There was a 50,000 watt station in Richmond, Virginia. And I could pick up WWRL 1600 out of New York City, and they were not 50,000. But when you get that high up on the dial, you didn't need more than 5,000 watts to do what we used to call skip. It would go a long way.
Right.
So that's where I heard, guys like the Gary Berg, the GBE, the Gary Berg experience. I would occasionally hear Frankie Crocker when he first went to New York City. He was
Right.
on WWRL, WLIB. So I was introduced to some of the big black talent back in the day.
Yes.
And then when we would go up the East Coast from Norfolk to New York or Connecticut, we had family up there. We got a chance to listen to stations in Richmond, Washington, D.C., Delaware, Philadelphia, Newark, New Jersey. And then when you get to New York, man, it was like, and it was all AM radio.
Yes.
You know, FM came in the 70s. It was available, but you know, it didn't have any great programming on it. It was like elevator music, as they call it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Historical footnotes. Go back to the comment section. Hello, Misty. Said Misty Lee looking good. Hey, Radio Brothers. Misty Campbell. I think you met her at the I Rock the Mic years back.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember it was
Yeah.
posted online. Misty is a former student of mine at WKKC Radio for Kennedy King College.
Mhm.
Fantastic talent, dynamic personality. And I remember there were a couple of pictures of her and you during that time. Hold on. She says, yes, I rocked the mic. Yes, of course you did. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yep.
talk about, you know, talent, things like that. So yeah, I remember those pictures that Misty put on social media during that time. So I remember once again, you two were involved in that as well.
That was
So
produced by Rick Party.
there you go.
And
That's
I
right.
still have that trophy. I got a Legend Lifetime Achievement Award from that convention.
Oh, that's great. Shout out
Yeah.
to Rick Party as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man also, Lydell Redmond. What's up, bass? I'm Bassman. I don't know the hell I'm talking about. So Lydell will be on my show coming up on Baseline this Friday at 5:30. So shout out to my man Lydell. Thank you for being here as well.
Is he related to Gus Redmond?
You know what? That's a good question. Are you? I mean, Lydell's still there. I mean, that's very, it's not really a popular name where I come from, Redmond. So you never
Right.
know. So you never talked about that. So Lydell, are you related to the one and only Gus Redmond? Let's see, good response from there. But
Legendary record promoter.
absolutely. I want to put this up because this is the synergy of what we're talking about and how things are in the universe. Barbie Jean typed this, I truly miss cousin Andre. What were you talking about when we did like the pregame before we got on here? Who would you mention?
Andre Egliston. I miss that guy. I think about him every day. He was one of my best friends late in life. You know, I didn't meet him until I went to Miami. But what a cool guy. I learned a lot from him. He was a very smart, well-read, wrote several books about, money and the economy and all of that. And he was a great talker when it comes to politics. This guy knew it inside out. And he was a great outdoorsman. He took me fishing down in the Everglades. And, we even sat in his dad's backyard up in northern Florida. And it was like acres of land. And we sat out there in the backyard with a .22 rifle shooting at squirrels. And Andre would eat anything that he could kill.
Don't tell me he skinned and ate Rocky the Flying Squirrel. Don't tell me he did that, Doc.
Tore his ass up.
Damn.
Sure did. He hit. I tried, but I kept missing. But he tagged too, and before I knew it, he had skinned him, and he was ready to go into grease.
Hey, did you have some?
I did. Yes.
How was it? How was Rocky?
Rocky was good. He was all right.
He was all right.
He was all right. He had pheasant, squirrel, rabbit.
Oh yeah.
All kinds of fish we got out of the Everglades, and what else? He didn't mess me up on no raccoon, but I'm sure he ate a coon. Well, we went wild hog hunting.
Good.
And
night.
he shot a hog, and he cooked him for like 12 hours on the grill.
Smoked his ass.
Man, let me tell you something. That meat was so tender. and juicy,
I
and there's
like that.
smoke flavor in it. Oh, Andre, come back, brother.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, man.
Barbara Jean types about, and I do definitely agree. Yeah, he was a jack of all trades,
It was.
and
It was.
she also
And
typed that he was
a great human being.
Yes, he
He
was.
was a professional barber. He used to cut my hair as well.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
also Barbara Jean typed a certified scuba diver.
Yeah.
He
Yep,
did
that too.
everything.
Yeah, he very, very, very smart, well-rounded, and knew a lot about a lot of things. You know, from growing vegetables to hunting, and just you could sit down and have a 20-hour conversation, and you
Yeah,
would constantly learn something new. And
I
like
remember.
me, we like electronic toys, computers,
Mhm.
and lights and cameras and microphones and mixers and all that stuff. So he had a garage full of stuff.
Man, that's cool. That is so cool. I met Andre through you when you
Mhm.
created USTalkNetwork.com
Right.
years back, and I would come on with you, me, and Alpha. Damn, God rest his soul, he passed away.
Yeah.
Doing a front page,
Another
the morning
brilliant
show with
guy.
you. Yeah, and here's someone who never went into radio, but really could have had. I mean, really through you, people knew who he was because his arcane knowledge of politics was through the roof.
Unbelievable.
Through the roof.
Natural.
Yeah.
Because he read a lot as well. He's
Yes.
well read and knew a lot about a lot of things. And if he didn't know about it, he'd tell you tomorrow. Give him a day. He'd come back
That's
with
right.
the info on it.
He do his
Yeah.
research. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Andre again was just dynamic. I followed Andre since I got on the show and working with you. I remember, see, I was a big fan of Coast to Coast AM that came out on
Mhm.
Premier Radio Networks. Art Bell was created the program. He'd be on at midnight or at night across the board, being syndicated, and he had a unique program. You know, he would do, of course, UFOs and vampires and Draculas and shit like that. You know, and stuff like that. But it was unique because it fit his timeline when he was on. We
Yeah.
also got some serious guests like Andre. Andre was a recurring guest
That's right.
on there, writing books and everything else. And I remember listening to Andre just completely just dynamic and articulate, and just he held his own when you heard him speak. And just the fact that as a fan of Coast to Coast, I was a fan of both, of course, both Art and him. So it was a double pleasure for me. And knowing Andre personally, that was sitting through the roof. So yeah, God rest his soul, a fantastic human being. Also, Barbara Jean brings up as well. I gave him flowers in life and sent flowers for Andre's celebration of life.
Mhm. You know, I was coming back from Las Vegas late one night, driving, coming back to LA,
Mhm.
and Andre called me while I was driving, and I must have been in an area that the cell was not good. So I didn't get the call.
Mhm.
And he left a message. So he said, "Hey man, what are you doing? Where are you?" You know, the typical Andre, and
Yeah.
you're out there, you know, messing around with that bovine, and you know, he had several words of craziness.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that message until I got back in LA because I didn't check my voicemail while I was driving. But he died that morning, early morning.
Mm.
So I didn't get a chance to talk to him before he passed away, but we talked almost every day. And
Yeah.
that breaks my heart that I didn't get a chance to talk to him that night. But he died, and his wife called me and said, you know, they were in bed and he was suffering back pain.
Mhm.
And he said she said the way he explained it was very, very intense.
Right.
And he got out of the bed and laid down on the floor, and that's where he died.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was, and I didn't know having a heart attack you can have back pain. I always heard chest pain.
Oh yeah. No.
But I didn't know about the
Yeah.
back pain.
No, that's what happened to me. When I had my heart attack, it was in the back. It wasn't in the front, it was in the back. And so we had to go to the hospital, obviously, and get myself checked in, and that's
Was
when I
in
was
the upper
diagnosed.
part of the back?
Right in the middle.
In the middle.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
And I never experienced it before in my life. I never had type of pain before. And that's what the doctor was saying, because, of course, where the heart is located and where the pain is dynamic at, it starts to activate and it starts to give you those pains. So my pains were in my chest. It was in my back. And then I started to get chest pains after that, but it started
I
in my
lost
back
my
first.
audio.
Can you hear me? Let's see. Okay, he checked out. Man, okay, I was let's see. Hopefully we'll get Lee back on. Most likely we will. Barbara Jean, I always thought he died of a broken heart. Yeah, that heart ain't nothing to play with, I'm telling you. Just my own personal experiences. Had my heart surgery in July of 2015. Robotic surgery. That's what I was before, when my cardiologist said we could do two ways. We can cut your chest open and go that way, or we can go with robotic arms and do everything inside. And my doctor who did that was the creator and founder of robotic surgery, robotic heart surgery. So yeah, that was some with the heart, man, always gives me pause, because and underplay would get yourself checked out. Katrina, what is Andre's last name? So Barbara Jean typed his full name, Andre Michael Eglishan. As a matter of fact, Andre at one point was the main fill-in for Reverend Al Sharpton's radio program. Sure did. Yeah, it was nice stuff. Yeah, I would get a kick out of what Andre would think about what's going on in today's temperature of the country and beyond. So there you go. Let's see. Sick. Ouch. That pain in the upper back is no joke. The thoracic vertebrae are also quite vulnerable at times. I watch a lot of chiropractic videos on YouTube. Yeah, no, it's it is not a joke. I'm telling you. So when they had to go in, because I had stents before in my heart, but this time they really had to do surgery from the standpoint of going inside and making sure the arteries were cleared out and getting out what they could of it being damaged. Yes, he was, and also he hosted his own radio show, I believe, on Sundays. Yeah, I kind of remember that. I remember something like that with Andre. Yeah, he was the man, no doubt about it. Katrina, one of the cardiologists here, Echo Dr. Roberto Long, passed away at University of Chicago. In fact, that's where I went to for my health care and continue to go through my health care, University of Chicago Hospital, the forefront of medicine. Yep. So again, I know you hear all the time, no matter who you are, get yourself checked out. Don't get me wrong, I was the same way. I was a horrible patient, did not want to hear bad news, but I rather now hear it and deal with it the best way I know how through the doctors. Obviously, prayer helps, and make it as dynamic as you can from the standpoint, I guess today's word is dynamic, from the standpoint of being more proactive in your healthcare. And I'm telling you, you'll thank me later. Don't thank me. Just thank the fact that you thank your damn self for doing it. It is a game changer. When you deal with the heart, you have to literally go through what they say, lifestyle changes. You can't eat what you used to, or if they told me that you have to eat in moderation, or what they call don't get holiday heart. So holiday heart is when you, for example, say it's the 4th of July, and all these nice spare pork ribs and stuff like that, and you just go through it and eating 90 going north, and you're enjoying yourself and everything else, all of a sudden you don't feel well. Well, because of the fact that you're trying to enjoy yourself because of the holiday season, but you overdo it. And that could be your birthday, that could be um, Thanksgiving, Christmas, when you overdo it. So, yeah, you got to take care of that. So with me, you just change the game. So, stop. I may occasionally have some rib tips, but that's like far and in between. And if I do eat ribs, is I try to get some pork ribs. Not pork, but not the pork, damn it. Beef. And which is fun. You see those beef, brontosaurus ribs like from the Flintstones? That's fun. Obviously, we do barbecue chicken a lot, and then just gotta change everything. Gotta change your lifestyle. Let's bring back Lee. So Lee, can you hear me?
Yes. You
There
hear
you
me
go.
okay?
Hear you great. Yeah, thank you for bringing back, sir. Absolutely. Yeah, man. What happened?
Ron Ford called me, and
Oh,
that
Jesus.
kicked me off. And then it's
Uh,
some jackass spam call.
right.
I'm going, damn. And then I'm clicking on a link to come back in, and I'm clicking on one from 2024.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna kick Ron's ass, man. Ron should
He's
know better.
he's obviously not listening.
No, he's not. No.
Yeah,
I should
yeah,
kick his ass for not even
yeah,
trying to
yeah. We're gonna
watch the program.
yeah, we're gonna jump him and kick him out of his wheelchair.
Yeah. There you go. Where's a Barbergina at Professor Bates Grill Master? Yeah, I know what. Now they have the new digs. We have a backyard now, and I haven't grilled literally in years. I'm looking forward to going back out and and just grill some chicken, and oh my God, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that. That's gonna be great.
Yes, sir.
So let's see. So okay, so now I have to cut you loose and get you unleashed. So which everybody been waiting for, especially Katrina. First of all, you reside in LA. We've seen the news, unfortunately, with the LA riots. Your president has stormed 700 troops to come here.
Marines.
Yeah, Marines. It reminds me of the stormtroopers from Star Wars. It reminds me of that coming to California, which the governor of California, Governor Newsom, did not ask for this, but Trump did it anyway. First of all, how are you doing? And then second of all, what is your take on all this madness there in LA?
Well, I'm doing great. As far as the protests, some people are calling it a riot and insurrection, and obviously the president doesn't know the difference between a protest and an insurrection because he pardoned the guys that were involved in his insurrection.
Right,
Okay,
January,
so
all
now,
of them. Yeah,
right, yeah. So
1,500 of them.
he's full of shit, first of all. Okay, Donald Trump, you suck rocks, buddy. You are full of shit. You're a liar. You're a felon. You are a cheater. You are everything wrong in life. That's who you are. And I'm sick and tired of people giving him a pass, and especially these damn Republicans. You got my blood pressure up now. These damn Republicans that have no balls. You're afraid of him. Why? Use the law, use the Constitution, and get this clown off your back. He means no good to you and nobody in this country or the world. He is a media pimp, and I've been saying that for years. He is raping and pillaging this country for all the good for him and his criminal, the other 13 billionaires that he has in his cabinet. What would a billionaire want a government job for? Let me explain it to you. Access to government information, access to the trillions of dollars that comes through the treasury in this country. Access, ladies and gentlemen. They're not in there to, let's make the country better. Let's cut the budget. No, bullshit. Let's see how many contracts those guys get. Why do you think Elon Musk spent almost $300 million in the campaign? You don't think he wants a return on his investment? If you think he's just doing it to be a good American, you're sick, twisted, demented, and stuck on stupid. You're stuck on stupid. No, they don't do that. It doesn't work that way. If I do something for you, I want something in return. That's how the big boys play.
Hmm.
So you got to embrace that. That's a fact. That's not a conspiracy theory. Look at the history. Why would an individual who's already a billionaire want a government job? Now I want you to just massage that into your fat head and understand what that is. It is what it is. Don't ignore that. Don't try
That's
to put
right.
a spin on it. Well, no. Bullshit. On the real. Accept that. That's what it is. Why do you think he stepped over the governor in this state? He didn't call the governor and say, "Hey, look, looks like you need some help in there. You want me to send some troops in?"
Right.
He didn't do that. He did it on his own. Why? Because he wanted to blow it up. He wants to make it a big deal. He wants people to go crazy. He wants people to burn and all that. They didn't start doing all that until it was announced that he was going to send in the National Guard. So listen, folks, he wants to create chaos. He wants to create destruction. He wants to see buildings burn. Then he can claim martial law. That
That's
puts
it.
all the power in his hands. He can do anything he wants when he claims martial law. All the rules out. He's got full control of everything at that point. And for you spineless people in the House and the Senate, primarily the Republicans, and some of you Democrats that's tiptoeing around, get tough, damn it. Get tough. You're going to be a nice guy with a bully. No, you need to knock his ass out. You got to learn how to fight a bully. Knock him out. You can't say, "Hey, come on, man, that's, you're not playing by the rules." No, knock him out. You got to take him out of the game. Otherwise, he's going to keep doing what he's doing. You, the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court, you have given him the wherewithal to do what he wants to do. You've empowered him. You have not stopped him. You
That's
have
right.
not used the Constitution that's sitting there in your lap. It's like this damn airplane, $400 million plane as a gift. It's illegal. It's in the
Yes.
Constitution.
Yes, it is.
You cannot receive a gift from a foreign country or prince or anything without the approval of Congress. Hello?
Yeah.
Read the Constitution. Don't take my word for it. But I know you're not going to do that because you're going to sit on your fat ass and listen to Fox and these
Right.
other right wing nutball whack job knuckle dragging fools
Hmm.
that continue to brainwash you, take you out of the truth, and put you in fantasy land, keep you dumbed down. Why do you think he wants to get rid of the Department of Education? All right. Another quiz question for you. Because he wants you to be dumb. Okay. If he's going to improve it, he's going to privatize it. So his billionaire friends can make more money. He's going to privatize more jails, prisons. When he's sending these people out of this country to other countries to lock them up, it ain't free. We're spending money to lock those people up. Does he have a partnership with these countries?
See?
Think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at his family members, his sons and daughter. They're all profiting.
Yep.
The meme coin, they're making $1 billion a month on bullshit. It doesn't exist. You can't put it in your pocket. It's a picture. And anybody can buy into these coins, but it's not intangible. It's a pump and dump scheme. Pump it up and dump it. You put your money into it, help go raise the value of it, and you're going to sit there and, well, it looks like it's going to be $50 now. Buy some more. It'll go up to 65. It'll go to 75 or 200, wherever. I don't even track that bullshit because that's what
Right.
it is. Okay? But he can pull the money out and you lose. Understand how the game works.
That's right.
It's a pump and dump scheme. He's truly a billionaire now.
Oh yeah.
He ain't gonna show no paperwork on it. But listen, on these coins, whether it's Bitcoin or any other coin or meme coin, you can't really track who bought the shit. So these governments that he's negotiating with, especially these guys in the Middle East with all the money, more money than God, they can dump $500 million and pump up the coin.
Amazing.
It goes into his pocket.
Right.
Okay, then he'll go have a meeting with him and say, I'd like to get a country club over here in Dubai or wherever.
Right.
Qatar, wherever. And then they'll cut a deal. And how they're paying him, and he's paying them, is through these damn coins.
That's right.
You can't trace it.
Nope.
You don't know what kind of criminals are sending him money. And if you want to be a citizen, what is it, $5 million? You can go have a meeting with him, and for $5 million, you can become a citizen. So who can do that? Only the rich. Not the people that are coming here looking for an opportunity to get away from a horrible situation in other countries. They don't have $5 million. They don't have $1 million to have a lunch at Mar-a-Lago with this clown, with this con man. But they spend $1 million, $300,000, whatever the fee is, to go have a lunch with him and discuss business. And if he likes what you're talking about, he'll let you do it. America is for sale. America is being hoarded out right now, right in front of you. Not behind you, in front of you.
That's right.
But many of you are blind, can't see out of one eye, blind in one eye, and can't see out of the other because you don't want to.
You don't care.
Want to. Yeah, it's right there.
Right.
You're ignoring it because he's famous and he's a good businessman and bullshit.
Amazing. Absolutely. We're going to the comment section and get some reaction here. How you doing, Eric? Eric Collins, bullies get bullied, correct? Yeah, you got to confront a bully. Yeah, you got to punch him in the nose.
Shut him down.
Yeah.
Learn how to say no.
Harvard Gene times that hot mess is coming to a city, county, state near you. Oh yeah, it's worldwide. It's crossing, across this America, and it's not going to stop.
Nope.
Let's see, what a sick type here. Republicans are going to toe the line for fear of being primary. Okay, yeah. Democrats are just going to exploit this matter for clout and the midterm elections next year. Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Sick. The thing about all of this is the fact that what Lee just said. It's not even trying to go behind closed doors. It's right in front of your face, which is why you have these town hall meetings of these Republicans going forward to talk to the constituents and then putting the constituents down. I was watching one town hall meeting. A veteran stands up, wants to know what happened to his money. He fought for this country, had about 3 terms during the Gulf War. They physically removed him from the stadium, from the auditorium.
No respect.
None.
Your contributions don't matter if it's not in line with theirs.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. All of these congressional members, whether you're in the House or the Senate, if you vote for anything that this guy does, then you're part of the problem. You're complicit.
Yes.
And it's time to flush the toilet on all of you. And
Yep.
I'll say that to the Democrats also. If you're not doing what you can do based on the Constitution, if you allow this clown, this felon, this criminal to continue to exist in the position that he's in,
Mhm.
I hope you're getting paid real well.
Yeah.
And listen, if I find out that you on the take, I'm gonna talk about you.
Good.
You know,
As
ain't a
well you
damn thing
should.
you can do to me, but you can lock me up. You can, shut my mouth. But the truth is going to come out, whether it comes out of my mouth or somebody else's.
We
And
always say,
America is waking up little by little. Okay. Now,
mhm.
now the big talk is maybe the election was not legit. And they got a lawsuit up in New York, and they're looking at the ballots, and it's just not making sense.
But
And
see, that goes
the judge is letting this thing come forth.
well, that goes back to what Elon Musk said, we know, when they had a lover spat, and he was like, paraphrasing, "You wouldn't have won the election if it wasn't for me." That type of thing. And so all the millions and billions of dollars he invested into Trump for his campaign fund and getting, all these people to get on board. I've covered politics. I know you covered it longer, obviously, but I've covered politics all my adult life. Elections. I have never seen that much red from coast to coast in my entire life. Never.
No.
That right there, as I said, it was done so smooth it had to be a plan. Because that was just too much red for me. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This whole nation, pretty much like, what, 90% is red?
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Bullshit. I smell it.
Yeah.
I can
Like
smell the difference between horse shit and bullshit. And we got both of them.
Even fly shit.
Fly shit, right. All
Let's
kinds
see.
of shit went down in that election.
Oh, my. Let's go back to the comment section. Jed types, I gave you this amount of coin. You do me this big a favor, no record. Yeah, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's how they play.
Right. Exactly.
Eric also types a great businessman who went belly up as owner of casinos. Shake my head, LOL. Yeah, going back to Trump.
How you lose in a casino? The only time you lose is when you put money in a damn machine or on the table. You're the loser, but the house don't lose.
The house never loses. The house always wins.
You bankrupt a damn casino. What is it? 2 or 3 of them you bankrupt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You gotta have an IQ 2 points below plant life to do some dumb shit like that.
I remember
you are a dummy.
A big time. And
that's or a criminal.
Yeah. Oh, that's
intentionally. Yeah.
I was saying the dummy, big dummy. That's an insult to Lamont on Sanford's son.
Exactly. Yeah, smack him.
The comedian Sinbad, who makes a good appearance in the upcoming, was on now on Netflix, Straw. I haven't worked in a long time, but good to see him. He was working in this Tyler Perry movie that's on Netflix. He was interviewed a while back, and he was saying that he used to, work for Trump from the standpoint of being a comedian in one of his casinos back in the day, doing his set. He was like, it's a whole different dude from the Trump that he knew. The Trump he knew was actually pretty decent. This dude that's out here now, it's a whole different byproduct. Different. Yeah. So, and that's a lot of people said online they used to work with him or for him or was in his inner circle at one point or knew of that. And this version of him, they never saw it before. Never.
Yeah. Well, the early days of this guy, it was corruption there too. And all of the people that he surrounded himself with or associated with, celebrity types primarily, he did that for his own benefit. Okay, yes. He wanted to be at the party so that he could hobnob and get to the people who have money. So while you look back back 20, 30 years ago, and everybody said, well, he was a swell guy. He was pretty cool. I didn't have any problems with him. He paid me, and I
Right.
worked with him. But you look at all the other people he did not pay.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Mhm.
you can't be a swell guy and you discriminate against certain people. You
That's
take the
true.
advantage of them.
No, you're right.
So when you hear people say, well, yeah, him and Puffy were cool and you hang it. Yeah, because Puffy had something that he needed to have access to. He
Mhm.
might have been cool with some of the boxers
Yeah.
because he was pimping them. He was promoting them, making
Right.
money off of them.
Mhm.
Was he doing fair deals with them? I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me. Okay, working with Don King. Don King, he ain't a nice guy. He's a tough business guy. He don't lose money. But Donald Trump he's an opportunist in a bad way.
Right.
I don't have a problem with an opportunist that seeks out and finds an opportunity and massages it and turns it into a profit. But you don't piss on people in the process. You don't
No, you don't.
destroy lives. You don't hire people and then don't pay them. That's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. Let's go back to the comment section out here. Jed types, a successful businessman isn't in court 5,000 times.
Right.
Right.
When he
You
was
know,
running for the presidency back in 15, 16, he had over 3,000 civil suits before he became president
right.
from bad business deals.
And you when you give a green light to bad behavior, you're just as guilty. That's dangerous. And just the fact that you're looking at as a broadcaster myself, brick and mortar, just like you were. It breaks my heart that ABC is kowtowing to Trump with this $15 million lawsuit that they sued ABC News and George Stephanopoulos, and that's so-called $15 million was donated to Trump's library, and now ABC News has fired their reporter Terry Moran for going on social media to talk about Stephen Miller and everything else, Elon Musk. So the integrity I think that was left in broadcast journalism is now shot to shit. Same with ABC, same with CBS, because CBS, their producer, 60 Minutes, has stepped down because of interference of this whole thing about Trump wanting to sue CBS for them editing an interview with Kamala Harris because it made her look good. She can look good on a bad day and not even comparison to Trump. So again, he's suing CBS, and CBS will kowtow because CBS has to merge with Paramount in an STC deal under the Trump administration. So they'll bow down to his knee too. So whatever we had from a broadcast perspective of journalism is just completely out the window, as far as I'm concerned. It's gone, man.
He wants to get rid of all of it. He wants to no longer funding public radio.
Right.
Why? Because they tell the truth. They're true journalists.
That's
and he
right.
doesn't want that. He wants to be able to control the narrative. He wants every radio and television station to be like Fox. Because then he can get his narrative and his message out.
That's
and
right.
nobody else. So it'll be no different than Russia or China when it's state-owned media. There's no independent media in these countries. North Korea, there's no Lee Michaels can't go over there and put an FM or even an AM station on in these foreign countries. Nor can the people of those countries. It's
Right.
all owned by the government and controlled by the dictator. That's what he wants.
Oh yeah.
He wants to shut down the Department of Education. He really wants to get rid of Congress. He has said that. He don't want that. Why? It's opposition because if by chance these numbnuts, weak-minded I got a couple other adjectives that I could use, but maybe there's a couple kids listening. So
Okay.
jackasses,
Uh,
no spine, won't stand up to him. But if one day they did, that would be scary to him because they possess the power to impeach him.
that's right.
And I don't know what else he needs to do to get a full impeachment from the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court being
Right.
the judge. What else does it? I've asked people that are big time Trump supporters, right? What would this guy have to do for you to turn your back to him? And if you're close to him, don't turn your back because you
Well,
won't get it in the back.
that's right.
So, but well, they have to think about it.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
There's nothing to think about. He's already
Because
done it.
because again, you reward bad behavior. Trump and the Trumpites, they're no different than any other cult. Compare it to going back to Charles Manson, Koresh, even Jim Jones. I think Jim Jones is the closest to what Trump is doing because even Jim Jones back in the day would take his medicine show and go, coast to coast and all parts in between. And he had merch, T-shirts and mugs and keychains and stuff like that. And same with Trump with all these, get a Trump Bible and the gym shoes and all that type of stuff. So Jim
all of it
Jones
made in China.
Thank you, China. Yeah, as he would say, China. That type of stuff. So all that type of stuff he's doing is done before by Jim Jones. And these people who follow him give him all the credit in the world. They never question authority. And that's usually what happens. You get a so-called charismatic leader.
Yeah.
And these weak-minded people follow them. Why? They follow him because deep down they want to be like him. Deep down they think that he gives them the voice that they need, voice to the voiceless and that type of stuff. And so when you don't even think about what this man is doing to you damaging wise, you don't question it, that means you can be led to anything.
Absolutely. And that's what he's got him by the nose. The reason people support him is because they are just like him. They're racist, they're stupid, they're ignorant, and they're stuck on stupid.
And dangling on
More
dumb.
importantly, a poor white man will go along with the dumbest shit because he's a white man. An intelligent non-white person could go to a dumb white man and he'll turn his back to it because he's stupid. He don't want to know the truth.
No.
He will hate on you and got holes in his roof in a red state. He's poorer than the poorest poor, but because you're a black man, you're beneath him. Well, now what kind of logic is that?
I'm telling you, it is amazing. Let me go back out to the comment section. No logic whatsoever. We had this conversation before, common sense ain't common no more. It does not exist. It is gone completely. Eric also ties, so don't forget ABC is owned by Disney. To tell me, I used to work for the rap bastard at one point. I know completely about them being owned by ABC and Disney merging over the years. He also types, so Trump will have to marry a black woman to piss his supporters off. LOL. Yeah, I don't think he could pull it off, but I see what you're saying, Eric. It's one of those things where
it'll piss off some.
Yeah, some, but they'll go along with it because they'll.
But look at all the things that they're not pissed off about that he, from the moral standpoint. And well, I don't care about what he does. That's between him and his wife. And but he's a good person. He's gonna get them illegal aliens out of here. And that's what I'm concerned about. He gonna fix the economy because he said he was gonna do it, and that's what's gonna happen. Though
he'll go after those people. We don't come after me because I love Trump. I support Trump. I like his Bibles. I buy his golden gym shoes and everything else. And even though it's out of China, it don't bother. It don't make the way we don't never mind.
Have you seen anybody with those fake ass tennis shoes?
No, I have not. No.
If I see somebody, I swear to God, I'm gonna take a bat and just start beat him off his feet.
Take them goddamn shoes.
and the fake Bibles are printed in China.
Thank you. Exactly. Producer extraordinaire, how you doing, Keisha Chambers? Speak truth, speak to truth. Mr. Michaels, Peace, Bass Man, and Bass Nation. Hope Mr. Michaels is a regular contributor. Well, first of all, Mr. Michaels is a very, very busy man. I don't know if he'll have time to come on this program. He's always invited. But more so baseline in the future. That's where we really get down with politics and things like that. But it's up to Mr. Michaels. So he has a
man.
Look, anytime you want to come on, just say, man, I want to come on and talk and speak truth to power, and I want to get off my chest and get me fired up. You always have a home with me. You know that, Doctor.
Well, same here. Just send me the link, and I'll stumble on in and get in it.
Oh, well, definitely we appreciate this. Again, first of all, thank you for going overtime, because I know I'm only on for an hour, but I know how you and I get, and I know how our conversations go. So first of all, thank you for doing overtime with me.
Not a problem.
As I said before in the opening, I could never have asked for a better person to relaunch this program than with you. I'm not being anti anybody else. I'm just pro Lee Michaels. So I want to thank you again for your time and everything you do. So as I bring forth back this program, I ask the question of all my guests. You've heard it before, and I'm going to do it again with you. If you can invite 4 people to dinner, alive or not, who would they be and why?
4 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one, but the immediate that came into my head first would be my mom and dad, and probably Big Mama, my grandma, my mother's mom. And there's so many people, man, but those 3 just to start out with.
Yeah.
The reason for that is I'll start with my dad.
Okay.
He died when I was 13 years old. And the relationship that I had with him was good, but he's an older man. He was 65 years old when I was born. He broke both of his hips in a hurricane in the 50s. So I want to say it was 57, 58. So I was 7 or 8 years old. I never had a chance to play baseball or basketball or throw the ball with my dad because he was in a wheelchair most of my young life. So I would like to have that experience. And I also would like to have an unlimited conversation because he was a wise man. He had a lot of little wise things. And I missed some of those wise things. I've stored several of them, but I'm sure he had some others that I didn't get. So I would like to fill that gap. My grandmother, she was a smart, earthy, down-to-earth person. I never saw her get upset but one time when her Siamese cat jumped up on the kitchen table while we were at church and ate the chicken, the Sunday chicken.
Uh-oh.
She kind of lost her marbles on that one. She chased that cat around the house. He was running up the drapes and trying to get away from running under the bed. Big Mama was trying to get her hands on that cat because he ate the whole damn chicken. We didn't have no chicken dinner for supper.
It saved y'all nothing.
That's the only time I saw her really upset.
Well, that's a good reason too. You had to give her a pass on that one. Yeah, that's.
And my mom was such a gentle, kind person. So was my grandmother, you know. And I miss those conversations and her wisdom and her experience. She never had a lot. She didn't ask for anything other than some of her favorite food that I would get into an argument. Mama, you can't eat pork. It's not good for you. Yeah. Boy, you better shut up and give me the. I want some pork chops. And go get them right now.
Right.
But I love that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm trying to look out for her. She says, "Ma, I want some pork chops tonight. What do you think?" Oh, mama, you got high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff. You shouldn't eat that.
Right.
You eat it, don't you? What are you gonna say?
You can't say
Yeah,
nothing.
but I don't eat it that often, mama. Well, I don't care. I don't either.
Right.
We're gonna have pork chops tonight. And I
Right.
want some mashed potatoes and gravy and some collard greens and all the good stuff. You know?
all the trimmings, right? All the fixings. Yeah.
Man. So that would be the top three. And then there are a lot of mentors. I miss my youngest sister. She passed away. And there's some conversation I'd like to have with her. My Uncle Bill. And then there would be people like Barack Obama. I had a chance to meet him numerous times because when he ran for the U.S. Senate, I was the chairman of the Will County Democratic Party. So when he came into my county, I would go out on the different speaking engagements with him. And that was a blast. I mean, nobody really knew him outside of Illinois at that point.
That's right.
Then when he ran for the presidency, we had moved to Maryland, so I campaigned in Maryland for him. And then when he ran the second time, I was in Florida. So it was a fun ride, being with him like that.
Oh yeah.
There's so many other people. A guy by the name of Scotty Andrews, who was instrumental in my early days. Another guy that gave me a job was Paul Lucci in Norfolk, top 40 station. People like that were instrumental in my early days that I would love to sit down and chat with again and share with them my appreciation and thank them again. I've thanked all of them, but to thank them again because they were very, very instrumental and important in my growth. And one of the things that Scotty Andrews said to me when I went to visit him, he was suffering from lung cancer. He smoked heavily.
Yeah.
So I flew down to Atlanta and went to his house, and we were sitting there, and I'm sitting next to his bed. And I said, Scotty, I want to thank you for all that you did for me. You gave me an opportunity to come to the station when you shouldn't have, and all. They said, oh, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help people. I said, well, I want to thank you. I said, what can I do to repay you? He said, you can't repay me. I did it because you had a fire and desire in your belly, and I wanted to help you with that. He said, well, whatever you say, you learn from me, pass it on.
Yeah.
At that point, man, that really amplified what I was already doing, but it just brought it to the forefront in my mind. And all I could do at that point, Chris, was we sat there and cried, both of us. It was a very emotional conversation. It was very heartfelt.
Yes.
And I made a commitment to Scotty. I said, Scotty, I promise you, for as long as I live, I will pass it on. And that's what I've been doing. And I'll do that until I can't do it no more.
Lee, been doing that and much more. Much more. I bear witness. Anybody says differently, I'm gonna kick them square in the ass. I'm gonna take my 13 and shoe and put it right up there, and I'll walk home with one shoe left.
Keep hopping down the road.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lee, this has been more than delightful. I've been very excited to revamp the show. And as I told you before, I told everybody, I moved recently and I got new digs, as people can see, and everything else. And we had this conversation off. And I hate moving. Moving is such a damn stress
I'd
level.
rather go to the dentist.
See, no Novocaine, huh? No Novocaine. No, it's no joke. This moving stuff. So I'm still on the mend with that. It's gonna take me a while. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here in front. I am exhausted mentally and physically. It takes a lot out of you. But something in the new house is beautiful. It's nice. Again, it doesn't feel like home yet, but eventually it will feel like home. Just the fact that my family and me, we're all living together. It's my my sister's family, her husband, her 2 kids, my mom, and myself. And so just the fact that we're all here together, it is beyond a blessing. So I don't take that for granted. I just know that I am spent all this damn moving and stuff. So just trying to take it all in. But I'm looking forward to doing and revamping this program. And you said yes, made me feel better. So I want to again thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for.
I mean,
This
it's always fun being on with you because you let me be me and I let you be you, and we're 2 wild and crazy guys.
Are you going back to you going Saturday Night Live? Dog? This Jesus. I mean, you talking about an old reference. I mean, you talking about what was it? A Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin.
That's right.
All right, 2 wild and crazy guys.
Crazy guys. I don't know. I mean, that just, I guess, is just spontaneous. I didn't plan that one.
I ain't mad at you, Doc. That means a lot. So, for more information about you, Lee Michael, where can people find you at, sir?
I'll be making an appearance at the library at Lincoln and Manchester in just a few minutes. I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay, there you go. Hey, I don't know how far this show reaches. And don't mean to stall, bathroom in the library. Hey, aren't you Lee Michaels? It's like, hey, I'm trying to take a piss.
Well, I want to get back online and revamp Street News Now and iRadio Coach.
Yes.
And I've got a site that's almost finished called Radio News Now. It's going to be like an online trade publication.
Okay.
So I've got 25 projects that I need to complete. So when I can get some time, and as you know, I got to mention my son Corey. He's in Denver. My wife is there with him. He's still going through recovery from the fire that he was involved in. A year ago, this past April 8th, marked 1 year. Right. He's had 24, 25 skin grafts, and he's got 18 months or 2 years to go, and maybe longer. We don't know. But in spite of the tragic that he's gone through and going through, he has launched a nonprofit 501c3 for burn patients that are leaving the hospital. But like in the mode that he's in right now, he has to go to the hospital 5 days a week, 2 days a week for physical therapy, 3 days a week he goes into this oxygen tank, and they decompress the oxygen, take you down like 30, 40 feet below sea level. And it promotes skin growth and veins and nerves.
Okay.
So it's a new technology, and so he's going through that. But his 501c3 is going to be a nonprofit organization, and he wants to have homes or facilities all over the country. It's, in the beginning, it'll be one probably there in Denver, where patients can come at no cost to them for as long as they need to be in that transitional mode, so they don't have to leave the city or the state. Because in most states, and I didn't know this, some states don't have a burn center. They don't have a certified burn hospital. Right. So there are patients that come from different states to like Denver. There's 2 burn centers in Denver, but some states don't have them. So they have to airlift them to places like Denver. And Chicago has several. I mean, well, I'm not sure about Chicago, but I'm sure they do. But LA has a few, some private and some, regular hospitals. But that is a problem, and people that may not have the money to stay in a hotel or Airbnb or whatever. So his kind heart, he wants to create this opportunity for people who are going through what he's going through.
So that's amazing. Take something tragic like that and then turn into a positive. Always
exactly.
You have to admire his spirit to do that. Yeah. And as the same way, I mean, it's like when you do that, just taking a guess, it makes you feel human again. It makes you feel like you can get back on track. And sometimes when you help other people, it helps you in the process.
Yeah. So the nonprofit is called the Healing Home Group. And he's already filed for the 501c3. He's hoping to have it back maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Another thing that in the process of going through the filing, there's two ways of filing for a 501c3. The quick form, which takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, allegedly. And then the long form, it used to be 6 months or so. But now they're saying because it's such a backlog, so many people are doing 501c3s, it can take a year or more. So
Right.
he opted to go with the short form, which means they're basically the same. The difference is the short form is limited, but not limited to $50,000 a year. You can raise more money than that, $50,000, but your filing process and paperwork is more intricate and detailed and cumbersome. So he opted to go with the short form because he wants to get it done now. So,
Right.
but I didn't know the difference. So that was a
Right.
learning thing for me as well.
Absolutely. Well, give our best to Corey. You know we love and support him, and
Yeah.
I got to reach out to him. He wants to come on Baseline or even here on this program to promote it. He has carte blanche like you do. So, yeah, we'll definitely help spread the word
Thank
on
you.
that one. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Lee, like I said before, thank you for your time. Thank you for you. We need you. Now more than ever, living in crazy times, we need voices like yours to help ground us, to help guide, to help give us sage. If any time in our country that we need to hear a voice that makes sense, and I'm just saying because I know you, I say because the truth, it's definitely your voice, sir. So we definitely need you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm unselfishly willing to share whatever I know and experience, and until I can't do it no more. So get it when you can get it, because when I'm gone, it ain't gonna be no more. Not for
Yeah, I
me.
understand.
So,
Well, like I said before, we're working on that 24. Get that 24 years extra, so we keep
that's
on having
right.
you.
That's what I'm
Exactly,
working on.
exactly.
I want
Do
to
me
be
for.
around and worry you to death.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Only you, because you're my only friend. We'll take
That's
that.
it.
So,
That's it. I'm it.
exactly.
I'm sticking with it.
Oh man, do me for. Hang on in the zone real quick before we get out of here. Hang on real quick. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you. God bless you, and thank you to everyone that tuned in today. I know you didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate it, and I know Chris does too. So God bless to all of you. Stay safe, and if you're participating in any of these protests, be safe. And when things get crazy, just moonwalk away. God bless you.
Absolutely. Hang on, Lee. Be right back. Hang on. The great Lee Michaels. What can I say? I'm blessed to be in this company. I always walk away with something I didn't know before, and hopefully, we just said of all of us. So once again, thank you, Lee, for blessing this program to relaunch. CBI airs every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific time. Also, the same time zone when we do Baseline. So Baseline will be back on Friday. That will be, of course, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and of course, 2 p.m. Pacific time for Baseline. So that works just across the board. You want to worry about time zones changing and everything else. It's all same for CBI and the same for this one. So the same for this one, the same for Baseline. So try to keep it a fluid as possible. As always, wanting you to be safe. So we'll see you on Friday. Good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Continue to be safe. Continue to be sound. Continue to be healthy, and most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace, long live the funk, more power to you. And as always, in parting with all of you, keep your head up.